This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Handy.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail, rarely get your tail buried. If it's JJ to JJ on Hail Marys, I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries and 2 tuds. I see you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, where we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota know this. Minnesota know this. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we Skol, we so ferocious. So just know, just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and the gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Put your hands up. Minnesota. And gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla.
Welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. You are here tonight for Vikings United. I am your host, Bubba Startz, joined, as always, by my co-host, Big B. What's happening, B? How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad the snow hopefully is gone here in Minnesota, and we can get into spring and start getting some warmer weather, get some golfing weather, baseball weather, all that fun stuff. So.
Yeah, you know we're all about that golfing weather, ready to change seasons and get in. Coach Cody will be with us shortly. He dipped in and then he dipped out, but I'm sure he'll be back. Anyway, we got plenty to cover.
You probably got a call, you know.
Yeah, somebody's agent was probably calling him. They need more playing time. We took last week off, had some technical difficulties. My internet completely crashed, and that will keep you from having a show on the internet, turns out. So We're happy to be here tonight, live on our YouTube channel. Shared it out into the groups on Facebook. There's Coach now. Welcome in, Coach Cody, our expert analyst.
Let's go. Let's go. How we doing?
The owner of a 4-0 record, may I say. Congratulations there, Coach.
What's happening, Levi? Welcome in, brother. Glad to have you. Yeah, Coach, congratulations.
4-0 record this 4-0 record this year. 4-0 overall throughout my career coaching arena football. So I'm extremely blessed. I'm telling you, I tried telling Bubba when we first met, I was like, we got some dogs with the St. Paul Bears. And, most of them guys followed me over to the Wyoming Cavalry. And now I'm proud to say that at least, I about 90% of the players that are brought to camp made the team for Wyoming Cavalry, and now are moving on and leveling up to higher leagues. So it's a blessing all the way around.
Yeah, well, and since the last time that I've seen you, we've spoken off the show about that, but you've been named the head coach of the Wyoming Cavalry. We're so proud of you, Cody. You just continue to excel at everything that you do, and nothing but winners are what you coach, man. Really proud of you. How did that situation kind of develop? And what can we look forward to with you now taking the reins as the head coach of the team?
I mean, without getting too far into it, because last time I spoke about that brawl that happened, I got a little reprimanded. However, we're not in that league no more, so fuck it. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. Basically, we had, called me some big news. Some big news happened with the Eastside Engine team that I was on. I'll get to that here quick because, like I said, I got a bunch of players
already too, so we're gonna cover that. But let's
you saw that? You saw that?
Yeah. We'll get into that. I had questions, but there was no sense in texting you when I knew we were going to be chatting later tonight anyway. But continue on.
Yeah.
You guys are in a new league now.
Yep. Yeah, Big B, you missed something real quick, and I'm not gonna lie, like how to work some mysterious ways, because I needed a break from something. But literally, so our first game we played against Cavalry. We played against the CNY Central New York Blue Devils. We had boards, but we didn't have padding around them. And with the boards in arena football, it's supposed to be kind of like a hockey arena. So there's boards all the way around for the people that don't know. And we had boards around just the sides and maybe around the curves a little bit. But the center of both end zones are completely open, and then we had metal grates making up the difference, also with no padding. So it created a safety concern. We fixed all that, added boards, added paddings. Our ownership group has been taking a lot of backlash, but they have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and people are starting to come around and see it. But it was just too late. Our turf was kind of makeshift, coming from different leagues, and so it had different league logos on it that we had to cover up. We thought we had that covered and good to go. But it didn't satisfy league standards, which it is what it is. There's standards, and you got to live by them. And since then, we've been working hard to make sure that everything's in order. That way, we finish out the rest of this season on par. Because of all that stuff happening, some of the coaches over in Wyoming quit, just straight quit. And I heard that, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to do that. When I commit to something, I'm 100% in. I see it through. I knew going into this season it was going to be a character building season with offense living in Wyoming, defense living in Minnesota, and us traveling there. But yeah, just having the other coaches quit, that kind of pissed me off, if I'm being completely honest. Some of these players moved across country to come and play for the Wyoming Cavalry, and now they're without a coach over there. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So I decided to step up and take the reins. I've been head coach of an arena team before, head coach and GM. So this was kind of the same, just working with half the players over in a different state. But we got great chemistry. And everybody sees the work that I'm putting in and the work that I'm having to do from afar. And so, I mean, I've been blessed to have players just step up even more than that captain status or, in general. So, after that, I was just like, you know what, I'm taking it.
Yeah, well, and that really just speaks to the relationships that you've built with these players. Obviously, this season, making 15-hour trips across South Dakota to get to the
One
games
way.
in Gillette. Way, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a long haul. That builds a lot of deep bonds with these guys, and I know a lot of your defense has been with you for a couple years now. Some of these guys, you have really, you care for them, and I know how much you communicate with them, and that shows up in moments like this where everybody else could quit too, right? All the players could say, hey man, I don't need the drama, I don't need all the BS, and I can walk away from this. It's not like anybody's making a bunch of money to do this. You're probably barely covering expenses or missed time at work, if that, right? So it's it really speaks to the caliber of men that you're working with, both on the field, and it feels like behind the scenes with the ownership group, doing everything in their power to make things right and to get this up. And it's not an easy thing to do in any level, right? The amount of money that goes into these teams in travel, in the field preparations, in everything else that's going into it. There's stuff that we'll never know as fans, and even people who are, ad hoc kind of covering the team like B and I, that there's things that we're not even thinking of and could never imagine. So really happy to see, and I'm so glad that you are who you are and realize that early on that, hey, this season's going to have its trials and tribulations, and committed to that regardless of what those were going to be. Unforeseen circumstances like the brawl being what they are. Nobody could have forecasted that into it. But it's now you see who's here for the long haul. The season isn't long to begin with. So you guys are 4-0. You're how many games are left, right? You're already going to finish with an above 500 record regardless, right?
Yeah. We're good. We got 2 games left. One against the Albert Lee Grizzlies. Fun fact: 3/4 of the Wyoming Cavalry live in Minnesota. Albert Lee is from Minnesota, and since it's a home game for Wyoming Cavalry, both teams have to travel 10.5+ hours to play this game. But that's it just shows the level of commitment and passion that these players have. I mean, like you said, the game checks, if we were living in Wyoming, it'd be worth it. But honestly, with the game checks, we are, we're right there. We're right there. Between like cutting even and stuff. So, but it's just the fact that like you can get that game check and have it be, Wyoming Cavalry, from the Wyoming Cavalry or something like that. And that's a game check, and that's being paid to play. That's professional. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's something that nobody can take from these players.
Yeah, in every essence, they are now professional athletes, right? And it may not be to the level where they are doing nothing else besides playing ball, but they are professionals. And I look at it the same way as anyone who's, a musician, right? When we go and play on the weekends, just because you have another job doesn't mean you are any less of a professional in your field when you're being paid to do this. And you need to act accordingly, and nothing but respect to all your players. They have been nothing but professional to us, even with the brawl. Your guys were the ones kind of trying to mediate the situation, obviously coming to the aid of, a downed owner and players that, were involved, but they weren't the ones out there throwing haymakers and jumping over the wall in aggression, right? It was all defensive moves.
Right.
Really proud of what you've
Right.
built.
Well, I was
Coach.
just gonna say, I mean, like, how we've been saying, I knew that it was going to be a character building season. Last season actually prepared me more for this season than anything else, because I was going from a defensive backs coach, semi-pro, to head coach and GM of a professional team. So, I mean, it's just I believe that I'm a man of faith. And I believe that I can ask for anything and I'm going to get it, but I'm going to get challenged along the way to just be like, hey, do you really want this type shit? And I'm always down for a challenge, Bubba. You already know. I'm always down for a challenge.
Yeah, I had my moment while I was out on an 18-day, 5,500-mile tour where you're like, do you really want to do this? Is this really what you want to do? And then you get in the moments. And for me, maybe it's not, getting carried off the field by any means or raising a trophy over my head, but to do what I've always set out to do, which is support young men and women who are artists. And the same for you. I feel like in that capacity that you're not in this for personal glory. You're in this to build up young men on the football field. And I see so many similarities between the two of us in that. I maybe don't have a title of coach in what we do, but a lot of what we're doing is mentoring younger artists and in our field and taking them out there to be the best versions of themselves and really putting them out on a pedestal and putting them in the best light possible. So a lot of similarities and very parallel career arcs I feel like we're on, Coach.
Well, and one thing I wanna touch on is, the fact that people, most people they get somewhere a certain stage and they're almost content, and then there's once you get to the top of one pyramid, there's another one. You're at the bottom of one, starting to the next, and a lot of players might seem like I don't know if I can get there. I don't know, but if you just stick to it, you stick to your craft, like things are gonna come along, and you're gonna get your shot and get that chance. So everybody just keep on pursuing your goals, because that's exactly what I'm doing right here. That's exactly what we're doing.
Any questions from you before we move on to Cody's other team and news in that realm?
So, Coach, when everything started breaking down and the coaches stepped away for whatever their reasons were, when you reached out to the team that's in Wyoming that you don't have day-to-day connections with your boys here, what was that like? What did you tell them? What did you give them an option to stay or go, or what was that conversation like?
Well, actually, I had been working overnights. I've been on a string of overnights, which has been absolute hell. But well, I mean, I'm talking like last Wednesday, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, 11 p.m. Thursday to 3 p.m. Friday. Laundry packed, leave for Wyoming. We didn't leave Minnesota till 2 a.m. And it just, I was up all day Saturday, up all day Sunday, got back at like 1:50. I had to work 3 p.m. to 11. So I'm just like, you might as well clock me in right now. I'm good to go. Like, so it's been rough.
Different breed, Coach, a different breed.
Hey, I'm telling you, but to answer your question, baby, because of my overnight working, I woke up and I got a message from the owners explaining what happened. I'm reading, I got a group chat on Facebook with just some Minnesota players that was blowing up. I have a group me app with with all the team players and stuff that was blowing up. So I had to spend the first literally hour and a half just trying to read these messages, be strategic, because as soon as I respond and people know that I'm awake, people are like, oh, Cody's got time to talk. No, I'm trying to read up everything real quick. But I had one player, shout out to him, Anthony Ellison. He's going to be moving up and playing with the Wheeling Miners. And he reached out. He's like, hey, Coach, are you going to be here this next weekend? And I looked at it. I was like, what? And then I read another message. It was from KJ Williams, our running back. He's like, hey, I know you are able to, help players move to the next level. Are you able to help me take this film and send it to other coaches? I was like, hold on a minute. Finally, responded to everybody. I'm like, hey, first of all, Anthony, yeah, I'm going to be there because I'm not going to leave you guys without a coach. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. KJ, yes, I do have a knack for getting players moved up for the next level. And I'll do the same for you. Any player that plays for me, I literally tell them, send me your film. I'll cut it up and I'll send it for you.
All right. Well, that's good that they got a coach. So, all right, let's move on to the breaking news I missed. So, Cody, what we got?
I have officially stepped down from head coach of the Eastside Engine 11-man semi-pro team. I just too much politics. I guess you would say too much politics. Bubba, you and I can get into this later on, but it's just too many two-faced people, backdoor stuff, politics. You know how it goes. Plus, honestly, I should probably concentrate on my professional career. So it's no shade to them, no shade to the semi-pro, but God works in mysterious ways, and I'm just gonna take advantage of it and go at it with a positive attitude.
No, that's
sorry, I'm having to remove my cat from the.
That's probably a good choice. I mean, I know you're a busy guy, and I know you want to give it 100% whatever you do, and and whatever the differences were. I mean, it probably was a good decision. So, but you got the Cavalry. Let's focus on them.
It's not like you don't have plenty of shit to do, Cody.
And that's what I was thought about. I was like, you know what? Like, I thought about it at first. I was like, shit, like trying to fight for it. Then I'm like, I'm already feeling that weight lifted off my shoulders type shit. And I kind of saw it coming. And so it is what it is. You got to deal with that. It's semi-pro football. Every league is semi-pro football, and that comes with certain standards, which are at a certain level, bring a shovel. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
What you've been building with the Cavalry, and now as the head coach of the Cavalry, and I know this ownership group, that your owner with the Cav has visions of what this team can do, and they've already invested so much into this, and we hope that that continues to grow in that arena for you too. So
I'm just gonna say it. The Minneapolis Warriors were one of the most dominant teams in semi-pro football in the United States, period, point blank. And so most teams didn't want to travel to us and play us. And then we were left out of a league last year. That's why I was with the Bears and promoted up to a league. now a different league has popped up within Minnesota with 4 teams, one being the Warhawks, rebranded from the Minneapolis Warriors. And I believe that um, the Warriors were so stacked, they wanted to try to disband the team. And so they made this other league, created a draft to try to, even out the league. I came out with my players. I don't like to brag. I don't like to boast, but tonight I'm doing both. I'm like a Deion Sanders. If I leave, my players leave. So now this league is damn near down to 3 teams. But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, and you're not responsible for everything, right?
Nope.
You need to be responsible for you. I think you definitely feel that you owe a debt of gratitude to your players and guys that have been with you, and vice versa. And why exactly that you guys are at this point kind of a package deal. And I'm sure now that, some of these guys have been, albeit the size of the checks not being anything that's life-changing right now. But once you're kind of being paid to a level and you become a pro, you need to start treating your career differently and realizing that moving up in these divisions will any of these guys have a shot at the NFL. Those are long odds, but a chance of moving up to a different level of arena football or another league in there where you're making a little bit more money, possibly still probably not life-changing money, but you're still getting paid to play the game, that there are possibilities in that world. And players need to take ownership of their own careers in that fashion as well. And I think that the way your guys are committed to you and see that vision of what their career could be like with Cody or without. What up, Token? Good to see you, man. That it speaks volumes about you, Cody. It speaks volumes about who you are as a man and as a coach. I think it says a lot more off the field, that people are willing to kind of buy in and to put their eggs in your basket for an Easter reference.
Hell yeah. Shout out to my boy Bob Butler. He makes it a point almost every week. He's like, man, I've never had a coach like you. Like, you open up and like you're down to actually bring down that coaching wall, and then just be a person. And shout out to my players in general, because they help me do that. I'm 35. I just got a compliment last week saying I was 25. I was like, damn. But these guys are making me feel young. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been a player's coach. I've always wanted to know these guys, what they do for work, how their families are and stuff outside of the field. And I've always said, if I can trust you outside the field, I'll trust you with my life on the field, But it's like you said, it's not life-changing money, but like, we went from the Bears not being paid, professional but not being paid, to the Wyoming Cavalry now being paid, getting a little taste of that. Like, I'm hungry for more. Now the next step is our pay double. And then I'm telling people, it's like, you don't have to make it to the NFL if that's not what you want, or if that's not what you realistically see. But damn, if you can do a practice squad, that's $200,000 a year.
That's damn good money. That's 4 times
life-changing money.
Working my ass off for it. So
you feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you ain't even got to see you're getting $200,000 a year, and you ain't got to see the field and get hurt. You're just practicing.
Hey, you can still get hurt. That comment.
Okay. You can still get hurt, but you're not getting. You're not running a slant over the middle with Ray Lewis just lurking.
No, but that comment that I think it was Token that just made that we posted. That's the exact same thing I do at work. People tell me that I'm underpaid and blah, 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 and all that. It's just like, but if I can provide for my family, put a roof over their head, and still do stuff that I want to do with my son and wife, I'm getting paid just fine. as long as I can take care of that part. And that was a great comment by Token there.
Absolutely.
We
appreciate
it. Well, and that's the goal, right?
Don't get me wrong. I do want more money, but again, I'm happy, and if time permits, I want to go on those road trips with Cody down to Wyoming or wherever just to get with the guys and, have some fun. But right now, the schedule just ain't permitting that.
Well, and honestly, I think you guys would have had a blast this past weekend. I mean, we played the Eastside Venom. That was an experience for me.
Game?
It was a clean game. All four quarters. Some people, when I announced that I was head coach, some people were like, "Hey, stay away from the beer." I stayed away from the beer, mainly just because I was on the field. Coaches, for those who don't know, in arena football, coaches are on the field with the players inside the boards. And since I was honestly the only coach for Wyoming, I was on the field the whole time. But I mean, it was a blast.
Scary to be out there on the field. Now, obviously, you have field awareness from your time playing and you're still very physically able to, but not every coach has that ability. Me trying to shuffle around out there and avoiding some of these premier athletes that you're putting out on the field. I would be scared shitless, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but you're behind the play, right? I mean, you're behind the offense when you're on defense, right?
So when the defense offense is heading this way, defense facing this way, I'm gonna be over here. You feel me? Yep. And so I can look at the middle linebacker, give him my little things, you know what I'm saying, and then we're good to go. But I like to stand on the left side. So offensive left side. So if the quarterback's chilling there, right-hand quarterback, he's throwing a pass left side of the field. 97% of the time, they're gonna pick it off. That's when I gotta start dipping, because I tell my players all the time, and I put it on the post. I'm like, when you guys get a pick or a forced fumble, look for me down the sideline. Beat me to the end zone. Don't meet me there. Beat me, don't meet me there type shit. And there was two times, but one time in this past game where that pick came towards me and I looked over and I had to hop over that wall, but it ain't no thing. I mean, Cannon Falls, Big B. Cannon Falls got some PD, but they can't catch up like this. You know what I'm saying? I'd be hopping over the fence. I'm like that. He ain't catching me. Man.
There's no way I'd be able to hop over that fence. I'd probably just fall to the ground and just let them run over me. But
yeah. No, it's a fun time. But I want to give a quick shout out to the city the town of Gillette, Wyoming. I thought I was gonna say city, but they got 5,000 people. The town of Gillette, Wyoming. That community, they've been absolutely amazing to us. The players, just bringing the team back to Gillette for the first time. Some people are, might say it's our first year. But I mean, just to come back, show the community what we're all about, come out. We're a 4-0 right now. We got 2 games left. I guarantee you right now we're going to go 6-0.
Let's go. I love it. Call it a shot. Token, me and B are both with you on that. Bubba.
What did he say? What Token say?
He said we'd be put on the board on the
IR. Hey. Let's go. I'll bring you with.
So before we move on, with Wyoming, so what is your goal for next year? To get into a league or stay where you're at and just keep playing like this? Or what is your goal that you hope to accomplish with the ownership and stuff like that?
I'm not going to lie. It kind of makes me feel like a football hoe, actually, just because I've been going from team to team to team to team to team to team every year. I'm fine. Like Mid City Freeze 2 years. Minneapolis Warriors 1, St. Paul Bears 1, Cavalry 1, but I'm on a 2-year contract. We'll see how it goes. I definitely want to see how where the ownership is thinking of taking this team, what kind of league they're going to be in. I told myself that I was never going to make a lateral move or move down. So, I mean, I just put it out there right now. Calvary, you better figure it out and let me know what's going on and communicate with me, because if not, I'm going straight to the NAL, and that is what it is. Omaha beef.
Be a little closer to me if you did that.
Hey, well, I mean, even had teams reach out, Nebraska Siege. I just got to have time to update my coaching resume. I literally haven't had time for that yet.
Yeah, that's okay, Coach. I know enough of your accolades. I'll plug it into Chat GPT tonight. We'll get you.
We could.
Could probably just ask it like, who is Coach Cody Hommedahl, and it'll give us a nice little.
He's the greatest guy around. I mean, just ask him.
You do a lot, and you're out here. You're a co-host of some awesome programs, and you got a big footprint, man.
Man, well, what? I mean, just ask him. Yeah, if you ask me, I'm the best dude around. I'm the nicest guy too.
No, you are a great guy, Cody. I mean, I wish we had more time to hang out around here in Cannon Falls, but I know you're a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. But no, the times we cross paths, I mean, you are a great guy.
Well, and that's something that we need to change. Absolutely crucial. Us three need to get together. It's crazy that you and I, Big B, we live in a town of 4,500 people and we can't get together. That's crazy. We have one stoplight.
You're the one that 90% of your schedule is already booked for the next 40 years. So, I mean, that's...
Hey, it just opened up for the next, after these 2 weeks, it just opened up. Oh, man, I'm going to be fishing. Let's go.
Yeah, hey, we know how Coach is. He's busy. He's too busy to be down, and he never celebrates those wins for too long either. It's always right back to work. So... And we don't just show up here. We're always talking to each other if it's in the group chat.
Oh yeah, we talk in the group chat, so we know how Cody is.
Yeah, we know that when we don't hear from him, he's either sleeping or working. So,
facts.
Awesome. Well, before we dip in here, we got some new sponsors we got to talk about. I'd love to take a few minutes talk about Operation Combating Veteran Suicide as well, and we got to talk about our new sponsor and partner of the show, Odyssey Exteriors, too. So a little zone action here, then we're going to come back. We're obviously going to get into some Vikings football. Draft is coming up quick now. We'll make some announcements after the break here. Yeah. Which means we need to get our mock draft in order and figure out who we're going to be picking. So I did like the Bears. Look at all them teams. That's one season. That's 1 year, 12 months. I just met Cody in February last year.
Hey, but that's the thing though. Like I'm going to tell this little secret to, give you a little tidbit. When you catch momentum, you got to ride that pitch. You got to ride that pitch because I mean, you feel me? This happened literally, Bubba. I've known you for what? Literally a year?
A year? Yeah.
2 years?
A year.
And this is all. I mean, hold on a minute.
Yeah, and the thing is Deion Sanders is no one.
We got the Bears. We got that Bears helmet, right?
Nope, that's bad. But we know Deion's played a baseball game and a football game in the same day. What's the chance of Cody coaching the two teams in 1 day? I mean,
I heard he's going to be playing too. I don't know if that's off the table now with the other team changing. And that's your Muskie. Nice.
Hey, this is not a lot of people know, but I'm number 21 when it comes down to it. I'm that lockdown corner.
He is Dion. He is. He's the.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it would
All
not
right.
surprise me if we get a message saying, "Hey, I'm coaching 2 games in one day, guys. Come out and see me." You
Yeah,
know.
I feel like that's
Honestly-
already happened, but
Well, that was about to be a thing. I was about to be coaching down in Texas, and then the very next day, I was gonna have to make my way, break off from my semi-pro team to go to Missouri and coach another game.
at least they're kind of routed. Okay,
I mean,
you know,
now
even
I
if they
ain't
go
got to
from
do
Texas to
nothing. I'm
California.
big chilling. Oh man, I'm still working on my real estate. I'm about to get that done. Like, thank
Ready to
you.
go.
You feel
Ready to
me?
go. All right. We're going to hit the break zone and we're going to come back. We're going to talk some Minnesota Vikings football. Thank you all for tuning in here. Scene Project Sports Network, Vikings United. Just want to take a moment here and shout out our partners with Operation Combating Veterans Suicide. I am the director of marketing and PR for the foundation. I am also good friends with our founders, Charlotte and Casey Roop. Charlotte is Mrs. South Dakota International 2025. We're both using our platforms to support our veterans, both at home and abroad, our active duty as well. Token, we shout out you as a vet. You mean the world to us. We know a lot of our fans out there are veterans as well. We got some really great stuff coming up as we move through the season and into the football season. I can't share a lot of details yet, but we're always looking to support our veterans. We have some new segments that will be rolling out throughout the football season as well. Our hero of the week and lots of great stuff, and trying to put together some other off-season events as well for y'all. So a huge shout out to Operation Combating Veterans Suicide, all of our veterans, active duty, and our first responders as well. We will include in that too. So love everything that we're doing with the foundation. A huge shout out to you all, and God bless America. Now a word from our newest sponsor, Odyssey Exteriors. In Minnesota, your home faces it all. Brutal winters, pounding hail, and summer storms that don't hold back. That's why homeowners trust Odyssey Exteriors, your local, family-owned exterior experts based right here in Burnsville. From roofing and siding to gutters, windows, and decks, we use Midwest tough materials and certified crews to protect what matters most. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and a reputation for integrity, we treat your home like it's our own. Call 952-923-0062 or visit odyssey.ext.com today to schedule your free exterior inspection. Odyssey Exteriors, built Midwest tough, built for you. Massive shout out to us, Odyssey Exteriors, my guy Cole Quinnell. We're going to get Cole on here to join us in the future and share his football takes. He's a massive Vikings fan. That's why the show is so important to him. B, you got a roof at home?
I sure do. As a matter of fact, one of the last summer, the summer before, hit with some big hail damage. So we got a newer roof on there. But yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't know many houses that don't have roofs on them. So I might have to reach out for some gutters.
Well, there you go. Well, we got your guys. Like I said, huge shout out to Odyssey Exteriors. Everything they're going to do for the program and the network long term. I know that they have a big giveaway that they want to do around the draft with some Vikings tickets. So stay tuned. Details on that coming to you guys on next week's episode when we'll also unveil our SPSN mock draft and get out there and talk more about it. So I definitely have some homework and figuring out who I want the Vikings to pick. We've covered a bit of the players that I think they're going to take in those first couple of rounds, at least that target pool that's in there. But hey, man, we still got 2 weeks. A lot can happen between now and then. A lot of talk, obviously, about a possible Grenard trade still being on the board. And that could be as late as right before the pick gets made, that something like that goes down. You never know what can happen in that. I've seen some wild mock drafts that Cody has sent me, some trade up scenarios. B, you've thrown some wild shit in the group chat too that you found online. This is just the what do they call it? No, I guess lying season is the free agent period, but this is the insanity, the absolute insanity that takes place during this time of year, with as many media outlets as we have, and obviously lots of fans who like to throw their 2 cents in as well. And we're no different here. I just think that we're a lot closer to realists and looking at what is actually possible rather than just, what we want to happen, right? And dedicating time to that. So,
well, yeah, I mean, we know everybody. I mean, you search around. I mean, I bet you we can all pull up a different media page that has a different mock draft on there, favoring every team possible. And I mean, yeah, would we like to go 18-1 and get us the best guy out there? Of course. Do we got the assets to do it? No way. And stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, we always want to get the best players we can. Is it truly, can we do it? No. I mean, there's no way. And the draft is so hit or miss depending on where this guy goes and stuff like that. They say so-and-so's a can't-miss player, a generational player, but he gets into the league and something happens. I mean, heck, let's take, Brock Purdy for San Fran, last pick of the draft. He's looking pretty good for being that last pick of Mr. Irrelevant. So.
But oh man, I didn't know where you were going with that Brock Purdy. I thought you were going south, but you went north, so I'm glad you went north. Because
I'm just saying. I mean, when's the last time you talked about? I mean, the last pick of the draft getting this much playing time, getting this big contract. I mean, the closest guy I could think of would be Tom Brady back when he got drafted. He got drafted what, 5th or 6th round? And
6th round.
And I'm not saying that they got the same career, but I mean, the last pick of the draft never gets talked about. Normally doesn't make the team after the first year. So, props to him.
Well, and I'm just going to say it right now. I mean, I will compare it to careers because back then you could actually hit the quarterback. Yeah. You feel me? Tom Brady ain't the fleetest of foot. You know what I'm saying? So he had plenty of opportunities to get absolutely just wrecked. And he did.
Put some respect on Tom Brady's name. Did you see him playing flag football?
Oh my God. Oh my, all he had to do was do one of these shimmy shakes to the left and he was good to go. Yeah, so okay. For those who don't know, Tom Brady was in a flag football tournament, a big one actually, against Team USA to go represent us in the Olympics, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, fuck it. But I mean, shit. You're trying to go for flags. It's a lot more. There's a lot more skill in trying to go for one. No, shit. I can't say that. There's not a lot more skill in going for a flag than tackling a person.
Well, it's different skills, right? You got a much bigger target when you're throwing in there. The fine motor skills to adjust to a flag that is literally flapping in the wind, right? And a simple spin move can kind of change that trajectory, and you're just trying to grasp at it with your hand. It's just different motor skills than a tackle football game is, for sure. More or less, we're not going to cover that today, but different for certain. Coach, what are your thoughts moving in now? Obviously, last time we were on a few weeks ago, we kind of talked at length about the Kyler Murray signing. It seems in all likelihood, although they haven't named him, that the team is essentially looking at Kyler as being the starter. Now, whether I agree with that or not, kind of regardless, I know they haven't officially named that yet, but there's been a few, a few slips of the tongue in interviews that KOC has done, and he's definitely looking at Kyler as that number one option. I guess I want to kind of start there. How do you feel about, Kyler kind of being given that QB1 spot on our Minnesota Vikings?
Well, I mean, let's just start with the facts. Kyler Murray is the only person, the only player to be drafted top 10 in the NFL draft and in the MLB draft, the baseball one, MLB. So it's kind of just, I mean, you gotta, a lot of people want to say generational type players in the NFL when it's just strictly NFL, but this dude did it in two different sports. Now, that doesn't take anything away from his on the field presence. I mean, this dude's been in the league for, I mean, what? Big B, you're gonna have to help me, but I want to say like 6, 7 years, 8 tops.
Other
Other than
2019. So yeah, we're going on 7 years.
Year 7, yeah.
7 years. 7 years. He's got over 20,000 passing yards, over 120 passing touchdowns. This dude's seen a lot of defenses. So, I mean, I don't even care that he's 6 foot, no, 5'11", no, probably like 5'8". You know what I'm saying? Just something about
Who's
like
taller, Coach Cody or Kyler Murray?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, Kyler. I'm sorry, but he's shorty. You feel me?
Well, they're for pro Football Reference has him listed at 5'10", and that might be with heels on.
They get paid to add 2 inches.
The memes when he first signed were ridiculous.
Oh, they're hilarious.
But that's what I'm saying is like, okay, you're an athlete. Like a lot of players in football want to put, like, instead of position, they want to put ATH, athlete. I'm an athlete, not him. You ain't him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyler, you're a Huck'em, hope he catches them. You feel me?
Well, and the fact that Oakland still reached out to him and said, "Hey, if he doesn't want to play football, he can still come play for us." I mean, so that still says a lot for him.
Yeah. Well, okay. Okay.
Are they in Vegas now? Are they the Las Vegas Athletics now?
Yeah.
Stop it. Get out of here.
Hold on. You can take that with a grain of salt too, because Vegas sucks. Or the Oakland.
Yeah, you are right, but for a guy that, I mean, okay, yeah, he's probably
got to sell tickets somehow.
But for them to come out and say that hey, he's still our prospect, he's still part of our league and our team and franchise, and he's welcome to come here. I mean, that still says a lot to his ability to play both sports in their mind.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, he might have the ability for this, but it's his character. Like,
oh yeah,
you were blessed. You were born and blessed with this God-given ability to be that dude in order to be drafted top 10 in the NFL and in the MLB. Yep. And you're just like, fuck it. That dude.
Mean, there were other teams out there that needed a quarterback. I would say more than the Minnesota Vikings. Is it telling to you that some of those other teams that signed a Malik Willis or a Geno Smith or a, and obviously we're talking about some bottom feeder teams, Dolphins, Jets, and a lot of that they didn't make a run at signing Kyler Murray? Is that a red flag to you, or is that just a sign of like some other notoriously bad franchises?
Okay. So,
or was that Kyler Murray saying, "I ain't even interested in that"? Like it's one spot for me.
I think it's the third option. I think it's the fact that Murray stated that he would want to play for Minnesota, or that was where he wants to be. And who wouldn't want to be here? Heck, if I could throw the ball and somebody's looking at me, I'd be like, "Yeah, I want to throw to Jefferson and Addison, Hawk, and turn around and hand it off to Jones and Mason. So I mean, it's the people that we have here that probably were the factors. I mean, the other guys that you named, Bubba, yeah, I mean, the Jets probably could have used a Murray. Miami could have used a Murray. I mean, they got talent there too, but I think the teams were just looking at me like, he wants to go to Minnesota. Let's go somewhere else.
Bubba, can you ask that question one more time? Because I got some fire.
Uh-oh.
So, is it a red flag if that these other teams out there that needed a quarterback did not, reach out and maybe they did, and I don't know that we'll ever know that for sure. A lot of this stuff is done behind closed doors. But is it a red flag that other teams that needed a quarterback weren't moving to get Kyler Murray onto their team? And he signed for 1.3 or whatever. And I don't know that was because if he signed for more that he would be endangering some of the money that he was owed. I don't know if there's some contractual stuff in there at all, but it's just surprising to me that teams that needed a quarterback, I think worse than Minnesota did, and not that we didn't need someone in the room, that they didn't move on Kyler Murray early and sign him. And to you, is that a red flag on the player or more a sign of just not great franchises?
Oh, man. I've been waiting for this. Oh, man, I've been waiting for this. All right. Well, honestly, I mean, I think it's a red flag in general. I think, after the year that Jefferson had this past year, just barely getting over that 1,000-yard threshold. I mean, how many years does he got left on his contract? How many years is he really gonna be locked in mentally within that contract? So I think it was smart for Kyler to do what he did. Hey, it could work with Kevin O'Connell. He was supposedly the quarterback whisperer. And he resurrected people like Sam Darnold, who made Daniel Jones rich as shit for no good reason. Hey, am I wrong? You feel me?
No, it's just sometimes just putting on that purple and gold, it just drips like our guy Prince Dinero. It turns into instant money.
Yeah, I mean, Kirko Chains, he's got the best agent in history. Agent has to go down in NFL Agent Hall of Fame. That dude is crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I think that if Kyler Murray does horse shit, that's 2 years that Justin Jefferson has had years wasted. And I see the team imploding real fucking fast. Wilfs, whoever, Ziggy, wife, daughter, hit me up and give me a call. I'm all in. I'll help you out, but you gotta help me help you, because right now you're fucked. If Kyler Murray doesn't succeed, you're fucked.
Yeah, well, and we said this when we were talking about it, and it was leaning in that direction that now KOC has the Kyler Murray kind of tied around his ankle. And if Kyler fails, it probably means KOC loses his job, because he's not him, as we were all kind of led to believe. My worry for Kevin O'Connell is, if I need to worry about the man, or worry for him rather, but is that the quarterbacks that he has had success with were all kind of a similar mold and make. And Kyler is not that. I think he's a much, much better athlete than a Sam Darnold or any of the list of guys that have come through here in the last few years that have shown, even in small sample sizes. But he is just he's a different animal. He's only 5'10". Sam Darnold's what, 6'4"? Sam Darnold's a big guy, right? I mean, a tall quarterback. Even I don't know if he's 6'4", but he's a big dude. He's a lot bigger than 5'10", you know? Okay. The guys that have had success behind KOC's in KOC's system
6'3".
are guys that could see the field. 6'3". He's a big guy. That's an inch or 3 bigger than me, depending on who you ask.
Was the passer.
Well, and I worry that, so much of this system that we have here and that KOC has installed is reliant on seeing the field. And I am coming from a purely physical standpoint. Can Kyler Murray see the damn field like KOC is going to want him to? There's a reason that the Saints offense was designed around Drew Brees the way that it was and the way they ran their system and did the things that they did, because you had a smaller statured quarterback and you designed things different. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell has enough adjustments in his playbook to compensate for that. I don't know if he has it personally, just as a man, to make large adjustments like that. He's not going to take his whole playbook, throw it out, and start from scratch. And when you have a guy like Kyler Murray that not only is limited just by his stature to see over the line of guys that are out there that are all 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" on your line and working inside of a tight pocket in those, but also the kid doesn't really like, I shouldn't call him a kid anymore either. I mean, he's almost 30 years old, right? Like, he's a 7-year vet in the league that doesn't want to study tape. How can you trust him with a playbook as deep as Kevin O'Connell's is to absorb all of this in time, to be prepared to make reads that are that? It's not just fall back and rely on your athletic ability. That's not how this system works. And in fact, I think that's a lot of the reasons why KOC was getting pissed at JJ McCarthy. So to me, while I've always stated that I think it improves, it raises the floor of your QB room, I don't know if Kyler Murray has it upstairs or in the physical stature department to be able to run this system the way that KOC wants it. And now, as a coach, Kevin O'Connell has tied himself to that player because he's had more control now, you would assume, than ever before in his history as a head coach to make this decision. So I'm a little worried. I'm a little nervous for KOC on his behalf going into this season, knowing that if you go out and go 2-4 in your first 6 games, you can kiss your fucking cushy NFL head coaching job goodbye, because I don't think the Wilfs are going to stand for it.
Well, and Big B, if you want to go first, I'm all for it. But I mean, damn, I think that KOC is on the hot seat and upper management, because they had a opportunity to go for Kirk Cousins and bring him back, knowing what he could do, but decided to go for this other thing. Big B, I'll submit to you. You can go ahead.
So I mean, I'm still the guy that still thinks no matter who's back there, you still got to protect him and open up. You got to have a good offensive line, So that's going to be my key factor in my thing here, because again, if you can't protect the quarterback, he's going to go out there and get murdered and be on the IR quicker than. Well,
and a little bit of offensive line help has arrived, right? They signed a guy, your swing tackle. Brandell has been named to center on the offensive line. You should have a healthy Christian Darrisaw back, right? We're all going fingers crossed on that he's healthy and plays all 17 games, which he's never done in his career. So a lot of that in there. Now, do I think a guy with the athletic ability of Kyler Murray can help an offensive line that may be a little slow to gel? I think inevitably he does. I don't think that it's going to be as atrocious as some of the quarterback play that we saw last year, but you could have been you could have been better and still lost games, right? Like the quarterback play could have been better last year, and you still lose some of those football games. And at the end of the day, it's wins and losses that matter. And that's
the thing is, you know, we talk about if Kyler Murray's bad, KLC's out, but let's say Kyler Murray's putting up the stats, but we're still losing those one-score games because the defense couldn't hold on. I mean, is that really Kyler Murray's fault? Is that KLC's fault? Most likely, but you know, to me, it's the offensive line. That's why I'm worried about, you know, we talk about the draft, Mendoza going to the Raiders, because we all saw how bad they were last year. Did they get better? Of course they did, but I don't think they signed a lot of offensive linemen to help them get better. I think they signed a lot of more people around, you know, the skill positions that it is.
I don't know if it was true or not. B, you follow the rest of the league a little bit closer than I do. Did the Bears sign Joey Bosa?
Let me look. I did not hear that.
Okay, there's so much bullshit that's on the internet. I saw a graphic that said it. I didn't believe it when I saw it. I didn't even investigate it all. But I mean, that would change the look of the NFC North having a pass.
Well, they got Bosa still with the Bills. So
okay. Good. Well, like I said, I wasn't trying to break any news here. Just asking a question because I know you follow the league a little closer than I do. And yeah, you can't trust anything that you see on the internet anymore at all. If you saw it on social media, chances are more likely now that it's bullshit than that it's actually true. So glad I referenced.
Well, that it's bullshit, and the fact that you see something on Facebook, especially Facebook, you got to click on the picture to go to the comments to click the actual link that had the post with the comments to get to the comments and the link. Ain't that some shit?
Shout out to Danielle, my wife, watching today. She gave a hi to the fellas. Her and I were at Journey last night up in Sioux Falls. This podcast and our network continue to get invited to some really cool shit. And that was an amazing night of music last night. Just blown away by the musicianship of these guys in their 70s and 80s, just rocking out. It was an incredible show. I know she had a late night. We didn't get in until around midnight. She woke up, went to school, teaching youth in our little town today. So yeah, she was working on the Coach Cody schedule last night.
Yep. Hey, you know what it is.
Yeah, we just don't stop, man, and that's what it takes. So, and that's, I mean, honestly, we've covered it a lot here. That obviously, Kyler's an incredible athlete. Well, nobody is throwing it out there that he is not. He raises the floor of the team.
Bosa's still a free agent. He's not with the Bills. He's a free agent this year. He's
out there.
Yeah,
he's out there. So we'll see.
That's what I'm reading. Is that he's still, he's a free agent this year. He was only there for 1 year. So
under 30.
Bosa is. Let's see here. Bosa's
if he's under 30, he's gonna still get paid. If he's over 30, he's gonna get a cheap contract, guaranteed.
He is he was born in 95, so he's 30 right now.
30 right now.
Yeah.
30 going on 31. He's still in that range and still productive.
He'll be 31 July 11th.
Nope. Trash contract.
Bring him to Minnesota. We'll take him.
Hey,
he'll hold out, and I'm sure that's what's going on. Their asking price was too high for the teams. They don't see that value that they want, but also the player is willing to ride it out till somebody gets hurt in training camp, and then be like, "Okay, I'll take my bag now. Thank you very much."
They're projecting that Bosa's market value is $13.7 million.
13.7 million at 30 years old. How many years? 1 year?
They just said that's his market value right now. So
for 1 year?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're just saying that his
Which
market
means
value.
that his agent is out there asking for 16 or 17 on a 1-year deal.
Hey, no disrespect, but damn that. Give me another Van Gink. Give me 2 more Van Ginks.
Well, and Coach, I know you've been diving the draft. You've been diving the draft prospects a little bit harder than I have, obviously. And we're going to do our mock draft next week, guys. I promise you that we'll have something put together. I'll have B set it all up, and I don't know if we'll do it. Maybe we can run it live, B. We can figure that out and do a screen share and run it. I think that would be fun to kind of see how one plays out live on the show. I'll have you walk me through the process a little bit. I've never done that before. I'm very new to this Viking, just the NFL space in general. But
can we
is there sleeper athletes that we're looking at in the later rounds? And I'm really interested to see where we get and who we can get in, because we got to fill up. It's not just starters, and we got holes in starting positions, but we need to get younger and fill in a lot of the bottom half of that 53-man roster as well with younger talent. And I don't know what's available to us. Really disappointed that, we've had guys on this team that have gone on to have a lot of success elsewhere. Most notably, obviously, Nashawn Wright, going to Chicago and having a career year over there. This guy was on your practice. He was on your team, man. So I hope that we're able to get a lot of talent stocked up into those, into those areas, and, not drafting guys in the 3rd round to be your gunner.
Well, and that's one thing we've talked about and touched on, that they now have to hit this draft with A's. I mean, they can't just go, well, this guy, we're going to take a flyer on and see what he can develop. I mean, we have to hit home runs or triples with every pick in this draft that we have, because we're not getting younger, we're getting older. That's all we're signing is older players. So we have to hit bangers after bangers on this one.
But that's all we do. Man, I'm conflicted right now because this is the Vikings United podcast. But god damn, I'm pissed off. Like we get these sorry ass players in the back ass end of their careers. Favre, Captain Munwin, you know what I'm saying? Antoine Winfield. Like, what? You can make an argument for Winfield. He was in the middle. But, other than that, we get some trash-ass players thinking that they can just – it's a Minnesota thing. We just soft.
Well, and that's what Cody, you hit it on the head, especially at the quarterback position. We've never developed a quarterback. Dante Culpepper is the last quarterback that's played for us that we drafted. I mean, then we went to Jeff George and Cunningham and Favre and
McNabb. Shit.
McNabb. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was cool to have Favre here. We're a player or two away from the Super Bowl, and stuff like that. But, yeah, we haven't –
I'm just going to say –
haven't developed our guy.
I'm just going to say it right now. Minnesota, you are trash. When I think you are trash, oh, we can't get a number 1 overall pick. Well, we'll sign one 6 years later. Hey, Sam, what are you doing?
He was just reaching out to the Wolves to hire him. I don't know now. He's not, But, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Cody, and so does Bubba, and so does the rest of the fan base. Yeah, we go out after the retreads, and it's getting sickening. I mean, we need to have an A- draft. I mean, B+ maybe at the low end, but this draft has to be high.
And Coach, on kind of that note, with the retreads, obviously with Kyler coming in here, you're kind of getting another retread and a trip down that road. But on the development side, do you see the signing as a major detriment to the development of your young draft pick in JJ McCarthy?
Well, the past 20 years, the developmental guy for the QBs, that dude gotta go. That dude's just robbing money from us right now because he ain't developing shit. All right, I don't know if that's McCowan Like, what did we sign him just because he was a former quarterback, and we signed higher former quarterbacks to run our teams and shit like that? Keenan McCardell's the only smart ass signing we've had. Damn. Like, I'm fed up right now. I'm fed up. I'm sorry. I'm checked out.
Well,
No,
that's all right.
you're right.
We'll get through the draft. The draft. See, and this is a lot of teams are there's free agent fatigue right now. We had a bad season, and it wasn't even that bad. I mean, 9-8, you still finish over 500. You're a couple of plays during the season away from being in the playoffs, in the tournament, right? So it wasn't like it was a total tank of a season, and yet we feel so absolutely demoralized because it doesn't feel like we're getting better. And even the Kyler trade, and I'm sure there's some fans out there that feel that he is the answer to that. I am not in that camp at all. Like I said, and I'll kind of reiterate, right? Like, raises the floor, not the guy, right? Like, not the savior of this franchise as your super fans on the other side are going to paint him as. A lot better athlete than you've had at that position, and obviously a lot better than the guys you had back there, there last year. But it's we're a long ways from being what I would call a contender next year. And I don't know that the draft is going to change that either.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. And Cody, I know we got the somewhat same friends, and there's a guy by the name Mr. Otterness that's already announced us the Super Bowl for this year with Kyler Murray. So, but
what?
Oh yeah, Otterness thinks that the Vikes are going to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that's what we tell him every year. But he's a fan. He's definitely got high hopes. Some of the times I just think he's trying to pull our legs and make us taller. But
yeah. Tech Jedi, thanks for tuning in. New name here on the show. Appreciate you. I think a lot of us here are in the same boat. I don't mind the Kyler Murray signing for 1.3. It's the lowest risk quarterback, monetary wise and everything that you could get, right? Like, you give me the choice of Geno Smith at 13 or whatever. I think he signed for a lot more than that. But even for like comparable backup money, you're usually paying your backup quarterback, I think, between like 8 and 12 million is like the league average in there for your backup QB. You got a guy that if he only serves as a backup, you're paying you're paying him the vet league minimum. So on that note, great business move. I don't know how you look at that same player and feel like he's the savior of the franchise, and all of a sudden you're going to the Super Bowl. And honestly, it's not just like super fans, right? Was it Skip Bayless I saw that kind of has the team projected to win the NFC North, and looking at that massive improvement out there. Now, I think our team is going to win the NFC North. I think that we have shown enough, and if we can restock some of these tools, I don't see any of the other teams in the North getting that much better, right? No. I think the Bears definitely took advantage of a last place schedule. They won some games against some really bad teams. Now they have a first place schedule. It's going to be a whole different ball game for them. I don't see them repeating into double digit wins. It's just the nature of the game. But the Lions already looked cooked last year. They've done nothing but get older as well. Green Bay lost some key pieces, right? That Malik Willis leaving is going to be an issue sometime during their season. Micah Parsons coming back from an injury. What is he going to look like? So there are a lot of questions around the rest of the league, or around, especially the NFC North, where I feel like the Vikings have the most intact roster from last year moving into this new season, and especially maintaining your number one free agent in our defensive coordinator is the game changer. I think that's what adjusts everything, and having a little bit there out of here. Tech Jedi, you're taking a vital year out of JJ McCarthy development time. The worst thing that's going to happen is if we pay Kyler next year, we're right back overpaying for a QB. Couldn't agree more with that.
But that's the thing, though. What? So, okay, let's play this out a little bit. If Kyler Murray stays healthy, let's go 12-4 or 12-5, 13-4. We get to the playoffs. Maybe we get a first round bye. Maybe we're the second seed. We get to the championship game. I mean, do we offer Kyler Murray? Let's say Kyler Murray's in the MVP talk. I mean, there's a lot of factors that
I think what
mean,
happens is if the team is like a 750 win percentage about halfway through the season, I think that's the point you make the offer and at least put it on the table to their camp. I think you put extension talks on there because you're still going to need a backup QB regardless, right? What that money ends up being. I mean, and if they're having a good year, the player's not going to sign the contract, right? They're going to let it ride out. Do they feel disrespected by the offer that was put on the table enough to walk? I don't know what our cap situation projected is for next year, but I don't know that we have the money moving into next season to pay a $30-40 million quarterback. I'm definitely in the camp, like the last comment was with, moving forward with McCarthy and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I've wanted to see a young quarterback for a while, but and I saw, to me, I saw enough that if we would not have signed a Kyler Murray and we just went strictly for a guy that's been a career backup, I would have been okay going into this year with Kyler or with JJ as a starter. But again, I got to see that offensive line play better before I can make that decision that JJ is a bust or not, or, and I've said it before, to me, the Green Bay Packers had the best quarterback grooming in all the league. I mean, they went from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Look at what they did to Malik Willis. And Malik Willis, I think if the Vikings would have had any interest in Malik Willis, that would have been our number one guy, I think. I think definitely you bring him in, granted, if you would have signed him for the $3 million that the Dolphins did, then we know he's going in as the starting quarterback. But to me, it's still the offensive line that has to improve for us to get a good judgment on these quarterbacks. And I'd really like to ask Coach this. If we get him back, I'll definitely probably ask this again. But B, I'll kind of pose the question to you this way: I mean, JJ McCarthy, I think this will be his third year, correct? Third year. Have another year. Do they have to make the fifth-year option decision and to offer that by the end of this season to put that fifth year out there? Are you going to see enough in practice, right? And him running a practice squad and running the second team, are you going to see enough out of the young man to make him that fifth-year option and to maybe buy yourself an extra year? I don't necessarily have a huge problem with him not playing in the year if the team is doing well. If the team is struggling, you might as well put the young man out there. But if the team is doing well, is there something to be gained by being that second team and gaining all of those practice reps that he had previously missed out on in the in this first season when he was injured, and obviously in that offseason still rehabilitating there. So I don't know that if Kyler starts the whole season, that as a franchise you're completely out on JJ McCarthy. I think that you can take one step back to take two steps forward possibly, and that reps matter obviously, but also wins matter more.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing is if the Vikings are winning, just in any sport, you got to stay with the hot hand. And if it's Murray that's leading the charge, you got to stay with them until, at least till the end of the year. And then, that's going to be the thing is, like you said, Bubba, if they're halfway through the season, they're leading the pack, you got to throw out that extension, be like, hey, we want you here for a couple more years, 3 years at the max, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and that becomes tricky too, right? Well, the timing of all that becomes tricky because if you make a Kyler Murray a multi-year starter and offer him that contract, you are now devaluing the draft pick that you have in JJ McCarthy. So you almost have to be like trading McCarthy
That's what I was going to get at.
Right? And then putting the offer on the table, but then you're also losing your leverage with the team. Like, you're putting yourself in such a spot this year as a franchise and as a business. There. Hey, and Tech Jet, I love what you said here. I totally with you that Vikings fans are patient. If you were here with us during the season, we were railing against KOC's play calling as well. The man does not want to run the ball. That's why I don't want Jeremiah Love on this team, because it doesn't. I mean, not that we're getting up that high, but I saw some trade scenarios. One that Coach sent me, that he put in the group chat.
And if we do, if Murray does have that good year that, we do extend him, then you gotta either have that big sit down with JJ and be like, hey, we're signing him for another 3 years. We want you to be that guy, but hey, if you and your agent think you got better offers, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do, because you don't make the NFL not to play and to sit there. You want to play. So I think that's going to be definitely a good talker towards the end of next year, depending on how we're doing. KLC's offense got worse.
Yeah, well, I think the league figured him out. The league figured out that all you want to do is run these long developing deep cross routes to Justin Jefferson. And when they take that away, who are you? And how are you getting that? If that's what you want to hit and it's those throws that are out there, are we going to be in a position where we can make adjustments? And so far, he's shown that he can. And we're totally with you, Tech, in that take.
We are.
Oh, we love a hot take too. We need to get Dre back for some more hot takes. He's already fired KOC going back to last season. But hot take, we were closer to winning a championship with Zimmer than we have will be with KOC. So far, I mean, the proof is kind of in the pudding on that now. A lot to be had this season. I think an unhealthy offensive line hurt you a lot more than what you were, than a lot of people will give credence to. A lot of the Vikings struggles this year were all put on the arm of the young JJ McCarthy, or the what's left of Carson Wentz's shoulder,
and the couple games that Max played, it just was not good year. And people are saying, people are still messaging me, and I've seen a couple of tweets. See what the Vikings could have had with Sam. You can't compare the two. You can't say that because Sam.
Look at the running game that they leaned on even into the Super Bowl. Exactly. That's not going to happen with KOC and Tech. Just to kind of reiterate some points that I've made on the show previously.
That's the thing too, is the old school philosophy was you got to have a good run game to have a good pass game. You got to have a good pass game to have a good run game, and that's a philosophy that I don't think football is ever going to get away from, because if they know you're going to pass 90% of the time, they're going to cover. If they're unsure what they're going to do, you have a better chance of succeeding and moving that ball, and stuff like that. Do you guys have a theory? Okay, let's see.
I think it's pretty obvious that Kwesi definitely wanted McCarthy, but I think Drake May, even though he had a lot of success this season, I think in a lot of ways they're very similar quarterbacks, right? Like I think you just had one guy that went out there and had the opportunity to struggle throughout his rookie year, to learn all of those things, and then apply all of that knowledge and all of those reps in his second year. And JJ McCarthy was injured, not just for the season. He was injured early in the season and remained out. He could not practice with the team, and he remained injured well into the offseason and rehabbing that injury. That is a lost year. And then you try to just hand the kid the job out of the gate. I think that was where the wrong move was. You should have signed a competent starter last year. You did not need to give the keys to JJ, and I think that's the problem. And really, the Daniel Jones thing blew up in their face, because I think that the expectation was that Daniel Jones was going to be on this team and you were running that, but you counted your chickens before they hatched, and Daniel Jones went on and signed with Indianapolis. And that became a much larger issue. And, I mean, look what happened. He ends up blowing out his Achilles. He may never be the same guy after that anyway. So, it's always 2020.
You're right. Hindsight's always 2020, but I do believe that Tech is on the right track here, that, KLC wanted Drake or wanted somebody different to move up. Kwesi did not want to make that move. We stuck at 10. We took JJ. And I kind of think it's now, like you said, opening up and backstage, that, KLC's kind of slipped a little bit and has made it unintentional, knowing that Murray's going in as the number one. So that to me just shows that JJ was a Kwesi guy and not a KLC guy, even though, he's got to be the professional and say, yeah, we love JJ. We hope the best for him and blah, 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 and all this. I mean, you're not going to have a coach that comes out and says, oh, no, I never wanted this guy on my roster. This wasn't my pick. So, but
yeah,
I do
and honestly, as a business, it devalues the pick that you did have. Like right now, JJ McCarthy still has value. I don't know how the rest of the league feels about him. I think you have a pretty good athlete. You have a guy that's got an arm. It's not like he's got a wet noodle back there.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now that the card collectors sure value JJ McCarthy, because his stock in cards is still steady. So everybody's like holding on to him because they don't know what to expect. I mean, you see a lot of cards up and down, and he's kind of hanging right there in the middle. So,
do you think, B, that there is a chance that JJ McCarthy does enough in OTAs, in training camp, to retain that starting position out there, even with a Kyler Murray on this team? Or do you think that it's all just out the window? KOC has his guy, and that's just the way it's going to be?
I hope it's not be, as you say, this, no matter what JJ does in the preseason or OT season practice, that KLC is like, nope, I'm going with Murray. That's my number one guy. Hopefully it is a fair determination, and if JJ outplays Murray, he should be the starter. I mean, we're not going to be at every practice. We'll see limited action in the preseason. I know the news media will be like, hey, look at these passes that JJ threw, and people will blow it up in social media and be like, yeah, JJ's, improving so immensely. And, so I really hope KLC and the coaching staff all are agreeing that may the best man win. I mean,
let me rephrase this a little bit and come to it from a slightly different angle. Does Kyler Murray have anything to prove to earn that number one spot? Or is it just he's walking into it regardless?
As a fan, he's got to prove it. I mean, he only played 5 games last year. So, he's coming off an injury. He's coming off some bad numbers. So, I mean, to me, he's got to prove it too, just like JJ's got to prove it. I mean, heck, who knows? Max might have learned a lot, in the couple games he played in the offseason. He might surprise us. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, it just has to be a fair determination that going into week 1, this guy actually earned the spot and wasn't given the spot.
Max looks like he needs to eat his Wheaties and put on about 25 pounds to play in the league.
And I know between me and you, we could probably handle some pounds, and
yeah.
But,
I mean, God, I wish it worked that way, hubby.
Even Wentz is coming back. So it's one of those things where, like, and you make a good point. Is Murray coming in expecting to be the number one guy? Is he expected to compete? Did he earn enough? I mean, to me, as a fan, he's got to earn it. I think both of them got to earn it.
Yeah, well, and that's why I would like to at least feel like it's a competition in there and that it's pushing, because I don't think, and I obviously that's the reason that you don't name him the starter, is hoping to get more out of McCarthy, which is why I was about the signing anyway, was right. Hey, maybe this is what we need to put behind a guy to make him feel a little nervous, to make him play a little bit harder, and to follow the rules that are set forth by your quarterback, your quarterback coach, but also your head coach that wants to be the quarterback so fucking bad.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like I referenced draft day when we signed him, and there's a line in there where the quarterback that they have is upset because they got the number 1 pick. They're going to draft the big guy, the big name guy, and I can't think of the GM right now. Goes up to they're talking, and the quarterback's just like, fine, draft him. I'll just beat him out for the job. I hope JJ has that fire in him to do that, and hopefully he can do that, because I'm a fan of this team for 47 years. I want to see them have that longevity at quarterback position that the Packers have had. I mean, ever since Brett Favre took over, they've only had 3 main starters in that, since 92, I think Favre took over. How many teams could say that? 1. I mean, everybody else has been, 15 plus quarterbacks in that range. So I want to see the Vikings get that stability at that position.
Yeah, it would cause a lot fewer headaches, at least on that side of the ball in there. But and Tech, you touched on a lot, and I know you're new to the show, so you haven't been privy to a lot of our other conversations. But we all want KOC to run the ball more. I kind of mentioned it earlier that 50-50. Even if Jeremiah Love did land on this team, I don't know that we have a coach that would even know how to utilize him anyway. And that's the reason why when Coach sent in the group chat the trade Addison at 18 to go up to 4 or whatever it was, maybe the Texans or somebody had that extra pick. I can't remember who it was, but that you go up there for that player. And to me, if you're moving up into the top 5, you're drafting Caleb Downs. I don't know if his draft stock has fallen since we were kind of talking about our safeties.
Let's see here. So let me get to the
things move so often, and I don't know that it changes. It probably changes a lot more on ESPN and some of these other boards than it does on the official, the team's top 100 boards. But
according to ESPN, Downs is sitting at number 6 right now overall. So, I mean, if that's a guy that the Vikings are, we got to move up. I mean, it's still going to cost us some, but he's more reachable.
Hey, if you can get it for the player and not future draft capital, if you can get that high, either trading an Addison or a Grenard to get a what we all can assume is kind of your generational talent at a position of need, at a position that's very important to this team in particular, because of the names that have played it in that on the field. So I think there's very few players that are worthy of that move up for, especially to jump 12 spots to get up to 6
and that's the thing
5.
too, is on that defensive side, you got to replace your captain, your leader out there at safety, Harrison Smith. I mean, we all are still kind of waiting for the official word, because I don't think he's officially announced his retirement. I don't think he's turned in the paperwork. So is there a chance he comes back? Yeah. Is it one of those where he's going to hold out the preseason and sign that last week of right before the training or the season
starts? Is he
started?
technically a free agent then? Did his contract expire?
No, I think he's still on the Vikings. Let me see. Harrison.
It was just kind of assumed that this would be the end of the line with him and everything. But I mean, if he's still got a year on the contract, he doesn't have to do anything.
Actually, no, it was last year was his last year. They worked the deals for a 1-year extension for 2024 into 2025. So yes, he is a free agent. But again, I mean, he hasn't really officially announced his retirement, but
Well, and I would honestly, for him, I'd leave that door open as long as you can. You get through training camp, you see how the team's looking. I mean, the guy can step on the field, I think, and go play with the best of them. Still, he's maybe not the athlete, but the instincts and the quarterback of the defense, I think that value is there. What that contract ends up looking like and what talks are going on behind closed doors with him, to be seen. I would love to see him back.
If he's not back as a player, I hope he's back as a consultant or, position
you
coach.
You think they would make room for him on this team in some capacity to kind of be around?
Yeah, you would think.
For sure. Well, I think we lost Coach for the night. He hasn't dipped back in. But B, anything off the top here? We're gonna have a lot of homework to do before we get to next week mock draft. A lot of things to do in there. I'm really looking forward to just kind of getting through that draft. I know it puts us one step closer to the season. Next on the docket after that will be rookie mini camp and then OTAs. And then you just have so many things that really start to pick up steam up until July. And then everything kind of falls on its face pre-training camp. But are there anything you want to touch on before we get out of here tonight?
No, and that's one thing nice about football. It's not a whole year process. I mean, you have these moments where it spikes up and dies out, spikes up and dies out. Now we're getting into that pre-draft mode to where everybody's boards are going to change. We're going to be coming up with ours. I guarantee between the three of us, none of us are going to have, outside the first pick, none of us are going to have the same picks 12 or 2 through the end of the draft. I'm excited for the draft. I would guess that the sports world is going to wake up and we're going to start seeing some more mock drafts, more movement. I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard too much of the pro days this year. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I think
it just speaks to the talent pool this season, right? It's not a deep draft. Yeah. Your quarterback names at the top aren't as deep. I just think it's kind of a down year for the talent level. You're probably having, it just happens like that. These things come in waves. And I think with as many kids, because last year you're still kind of getting a lot of the guys that were affected by the COVID years, whether it was in their red shirt years or whatever it was, extra years of eligibility. You had a super deep draft in last season's draft that this year was going to be a lull, and then moving into next season, we're probably a little bit closer to a traditional year now as we're kind of back in those regular cycles. So excited to get into the draft. SPSN, I don't know what I'm going to do for the Masters week and some coverage of the game, but we are obviously getting into our golf season here with the network. So eyes peeled for that. I did get some golf footage shot while I was out on the big tour a few weeks ago. Not necessarily anything that's episode worthy, but definitely have some content out there and start kind of unveiling our plans for that. Shout out to our guys at Skunked Golf Company. We got the Skunked Golf Classic that will be coming up here soon. I don't know if I have it dialed up, but you can definitely check them out. They are the official clothing sponsor of SPSN Golf. A quick shout out to Skunked, just being along for the ride with us. Episode dropping this week with one of the founders, Aubrey Smith. We had a great conversation and really looking forward to getting out with them for the Skunked Golf Classic, June 27th. That'll be up in Minot, North Dakota.
And speaking of golf, shout out to I think you sent it. I don't know the kid's name, but shout out to him for winning that golf tournament. He was
Lance, our co-host of the Scratch Project, Lance Christensen Jr. His team was championship. He was 4th on the day. His teammate was the number 1 overall champion at that one, and he was only a few strokes behind. So it's good to see his game coming back after the big injury last year that really set him back. I mean, they said he wouldn't even be playing golf this year. Right. So for him to battle back, and that's why I was so attracted to Lance and his brand driven and everything that he's been doing just to get back to being able to step onto the golf course and to play at the collegiate level again. Granted, he dropped from D1 down to the D2 ranks, but hey, they're out there winning and he's competing. And this summer he's looking to hit Q school and possibly be accepted onto the Korn Ferry invitational and then onto the tour. So a lot of good things to come yet. This network is growing. We've attracted a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of PGA pros, guys that have played on the tour and such that are going to be featured on interviews on the SPSN now. So we got a lot of cool things that are happening around us. We don't get a chance to talk about it enough because we're only live twice a week now. Make sure you're checking out 789 on Sundays. So I'm sure we'll sneak in some golf and Masters talk on our golf show Sunday at 7 p.m. Make sure you come and check that out as well. Looking forward to it, man. My Cubbies kind of dropped a one last night, or maybe it was Sunday when we were watching. I think they had a doubleheader that day, but we'll say the other night.
Yeah. So hey, just since we are sports news, hey, Minnesota actually went 3-0 today. The Wolves won, the Wild won, Twins won. So
there you go. Hey, man, while they're making a push for those playoffs, we'll probably be dipping in a little bit and covering that here on Vikings United. Cover a little bit of that as we kind of hit the doldrums of the NFL season, baseball heating up. But yeah, we are obviously focused on the Minnesota teams. I've had some conversations with some people in the office at the Minnesota Vikings, so I don't want to give away too much, but be looking for some really cool stuff coming from the network over the next 12 months and growing a lot in every direction. So appreciate you all tuning in. B, as always, I appreciate everything you do for the network and being with us a couple nights a week now, man. So and we got more great stuff coming to you guys. So stay tuned. Make sure you support our sponsors, our new sponsors, obviously with Odyssey Exteriors. They are your guys and gal. I've seen Cole's wife up on the roof herself working her butt off too. Punch Gunk obviously has been a someone on here, and hey, great stuff. The wife uses it. I've used it before. But for all your exterior roofing, gutters, siding, windows, decks, they do it all. Built right and built to last. Call Odyssey Exteriors. You can get your estimate today, 952-923-0062. That's our guy Cole. We're so grateful to everyone. Norsevius, you are late. Hey, we got a new sponsor, brother, but it's all good. We appreciate you dipping in. Obviously, a huge shout out to Operation Combating Veteran Suicide, my work with the foundation as well.
And if anybody has a job opening, Cody just has openings now, so call him up and fill up his schedule again.
Yeah, well, you guys can donate any amount to help our veterans and support the foundation at oc-vs.com. We're so grateful to everyone. Norsevius, we're grateful that you tuned in, albeit late. We're just getting ready to dip out here. Mock draft next week, though, man. We need you to tune in right at the top of the show. We go live 8 p.m. every single Tuesday, except last week. So I got that out of my system. My internet is back. It's stronger than ever. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. My name is Bubba Startz for Big B and Coach Cody. You've watched Vikings United tonight. We will see you next week for the SPSN mock draft here on Vikings United. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose.